Peace everyone, Unmask Art here, and welcome back to the self-portrait live stream. We are down to the final week. Today is Monday. This is the last Monday that I need to do this self-portrait stream with. The last one will be this Friday, so the final work week of the self-portrait live streams. It's been a super fun adventure so far. I hope that you guys have been enjoying it. I've gotten a lot of positive response from the series, so I appreciate that. Hello, Danny, Julie, Debbie, Jonas, Alex, Mika, Zanab, friends. Good to see everyone here. Thank you so much for coming back. Always nice to see some familiar names. So today the plan is to work on the hair, and I'm probably going to do some of the facial hair as well. So let me just pull up my reference photo really quick, and if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Always happy to get some nice questions. So let's see here. I think I can put my red and green aside. I will do a little bit of red and green later on in the hair, but I think I'm going to start with black and just kind of focus on creating the dark shapes in my hair. Hello, Andrea. Sergio. Thank you very much for that introduction, or that greeting. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with a little bit of black here. You know, I can never get the position of my light just ideal. Either it has like a glare, or it has too much shadow. It's always a frustration with the desk lamps. I can't wait to have a proper studio space in the future. I won't miss the desk lamps, because I'll have I'll set it up so that I have just a bunch of lamps on my ceiling, so that I have just no possible spot for a shadow, and it's more of an ambient light instead of like this direct like spotlight type thing that my desk lamps do. It can be quite frustrating. Let's see here. I want to measure down. I need to measure down my hairline a little bit better, because it feels like it's up a bit too high. So I need to find, let's find a proportion, I think. So from my eyebrows, let's see, it's like that from my eyebrow. So it's about the same as that. So let's say my thumb. Oh yeah, it needs to come down to about here. Yeah, that should help my forehead not look like you can land an airplane on it. So this is more of the hairline about here, and then it kind of has a little bit of a squirreliness going on right here. So I'm just going to start filling this section in a bit better. I was wondering why it didn't feel like it looked like me all that much. I felt like there was just something off about it, and I couldn't put my finger on it, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the hairline here. Pretty sure I'm gonna solve the problem, and it should start to look more like me, hopefully. Just finished watching my long distance relationship series. I'm glad you enjoyed it. How would you describe the transition from locks to my hair now? I would consider it refreshing. Yeah, you know, I haven't gotten any questions about my locks in some time now, and since it has been a couple months at least. And I would say, you know, thinking back, I can't even remember why I liked them. I mean, I did like I did like the hairstyle. I did like having them, but I hated maintaining them. I hated a lot of stuff about them, and I guess in hindsight, I don't feel like I have as strong a connection to them as I used to. But gosh, it it's just so light. It's so much lighter. I don't have as I don't have neck pain anymore. I don't talk about it much, but I'm a disabled veteran, and so I get disability for the rest of my life. And one of the issues that I kind of got from the military is just kind of a chronic neck pain. I guess you could say it. I'm not sure exactly what they called it, but I did a bunch of physical therapy for like 6 months when I was in the military, and there was no injury. It was just kind of a thing that showed up, and it it gives me headaches a lot. I get really bad headaches sometimes, just lasting days and things like that. And you know, for some time, it got a little bit better after I got out of the military and I wasn't doing the type of work that I started out doing in the military. And and then it kind of came back, you know, once my locks got long enough to cause it, I guess. And so it's nice to not have that weight on my neck anymore, because I almost felt like it wasn't like pulling my head to one side or the other, but it did feel like it was like pushing my neck like straight down. Like, so I had this thing like pulling my head into my shoulders a little bit, and I imagine that it probably wasn't too good for my neck. And now honestly I can't really remember the last time my neck hurt. It feels much better. Yeah, feels much better, and I like the simplicity. Just, you know, I wake up and I look like this. I didn't do anything to my hair. It's starting to get long enough to where the curls refuse to be tamed. So it's gonna start getting a little crazy, which is why I need to get a haircut here soon. But yeah, that's one thing I don't really miss, is having to take care of my short hair, because that's something that I haven't had to deal with for a long time. And my hair grows, it grows way too fast. It drives me absolutely crazy, because I can cut it down and it looks nice, and then like less than a week later it's starting to get a little bit out of control where it doesn't look as good, and it's like, oh gosh, I need another haircut already. And I mean, when I was in the military, I never really had time to get my hair cut because of my job. And this ship had a barber. You know, you could go sign up and you didn't have to pay for it or anything. It was just a service that is required, since, you know, everybody has to have nice hair. And eventually I just had to buy my own clippers, because it was like, I don't have time to go to the barber every week. If ever. I think in the 4 years I was there, I only went one time. All the other times it was like, I had a friend that I worked with do it, or I just did it myself. And yeah, I got pretty good at cutting my own hair, but it was like a weekly thing. Like, I would just cut my hair weekly, and it still feels like that, but I've been holding off doing it for as long as I possibly could. I don't have a name for my haircut. I'm just about to finish colored pencil portrait course. Awesome. You might be able to you might be able to use a piece of tissue to wipe up the solvent that dripped on the face. Just don't press too hard. You might be able to get it up. Um, Try not to miss any question. Oh, good morning, Barbara. Good to see you. And Amy, good to see you as well. Um, that's interesting, Sergio. When I was younger, I always wished my hair was just straight because it seemed so much easier. But I imagine if even if my hair was straight and it continued to grow as fast as my hair grows, it wouldn't make much of a difference as far as it being manageable. But so far it's been okay. It's been somewhat manageable so far. So I can't complain. At least I have my hair at 30, you know. A lot of people my age, they start losing their hair, and I won't be I won't be in that group of people. Um, my dad's like 67 and still has pretty much a whole head of hair, so I think I'm on the safe side as far as my hairline and thickness of my hair. My hair does still seem quite a bit thinner than before I put my locks in. So there is that, but it almost feels a little bit like a benefit because it was totally unmanageable. I mean, even with the length that I have right now, it's still somewhat manageable. Although it's got this crazy thing in the front. It just wants to curl no matter what. No matter what, this is just gonna happen for a little while. So. If Prismacolor came out with a 120 set of pastel pencils, would I try them or not? Um, I don't know. I have too many pastel pencils as is. I'm not gonna lie, I have too many right now. And even though I really love Prismacolor pencils, I don't know if I would even consider adding another collection, at least not right now. Not while I'm completely out of space. I have no room for my art supplies. I am completely out of room. There's it's not up for debate. I am done buying art supplies. New art supplies. It's okay if I need to replace like a pencil or something, but I'm done. So yeah, it's over until I move into a new place, which I have no idea when is going to happen. But yeah, for now, Prismacolor could release a new set of colored pencils that claim to be, the only set of pencil you'll ever need to buy, and I'd still wouldn't buy them just because I'm so out of room. My studio space right now is such a mess that it it zaps my motivation for creation. It drives me insane, and I just cannot stand it. So, how did I get my locks? Well, I went to a salon that specializes in natural hair, so they don't use like, because a lot of people will put like certain waxes and things in their hair to keep it to lock it up almost instantly. I went through the healthiest and most natural way because there's a few different techniques for getting your hair to lock up the way mine was. There is a technique that Well, there's the palm rolling plus back combing. So you spin your hair into the lock, and then you take a comb and you tease the hair backwards, and then you spin it, tease the hair backwards, spin it. That will work. It takes a really, really long time, and it's not healthy for your hair because when you're back combing it, you're ripping and breaking all your hair, and so as you do that, your hair dies from the tip up. Unlike my hair was only palm rolled from the very beginning, so it was only I would go into the salon. I think for the first 2 months, I had to go in every single week. I was not able to wash my hair with water for 9 months, which was so painful. I had to use, waterless scalp cleaner, and it was a pain, and it was very time consuming. You know, of course, I had to buy the stuff, which was not the most cheap stuff. The first 9 months was very, very, very painful. But when I finally got to wash my hair for the first time, it was so magical. Oh, it was one of the greatest feelings in the world. But so yeah, after 9 months of palm rolling, I then my locks had matured to a point. They had started to just naturally tangle up after being like spun around and around and around. They just kind of start to grow together a little bit, and they knot up a little. So after the 9 months, I was able to get interlocking. And interlocking is once the hair starts to knot up, it will maintain its lock. It's a singular lock, and at the base of it, what you do is you put a tool. I actually have the tool, so I still have my interlocking tool. This you can get from a craft store. So you put this through the base of the hair, and then you wrap the lock around it, and then you pull it in through itself from the base, and that makes it real tight against the scalp. But the thing is, it doesn't break the hair. So that's the important quality, is that the hair never gets broken. It always stays alive, which is the best way to make locks. It's long and a laborious and very expensive process to get done professionally. I think the first year I spent about $4,000 on my hair for the first year, just to make sure, because I was going to be a high school teacher. I needed to maintain a professional look. I couldn't go in there with hobo locks and smell bad. So I spent a lot on my hair, made it look professional, and that's the last stage. Once you get to interlocking, then it's all about just waiting. And as your locks mature, they look better and better and better. And yeah, that's how I maintained. That's how I maintained my locks and started. Of course, I started growing my hair. I grew my hair. I only had to grow my hair for 1 year to get locks put in. They look really weird. They look strange when you first get them put in. And oddly enough, like even when I had baby locks, is what I called them, I still got compliments on them, because I've gotten a lot of compliments on my hair. There's so many compliments while I had it. But even when I had baby locks, I would get compliments, and I thought it was so weird that I saw myself in the mirror. I'd be like, I would not be complimenting my hair. It just looked different, and therefore people complimented it. It was funny, the day that I got my baby locks, I went to a Starbucks to pick up some kind of coffee thing for my friend. And when I went through the drive-thru, I was just coming back from like the salon, getting my locks for the first time, and I had a flag football game, and so I was going to go play flag football. This was when I was still a reservist. I was still a non-active reserve military, so I had base privileges, and so I played flag football on the naval base that I lived by. And yeah, got a compliment day one, and I was like, I don't know what you're complimenting. Oh, hey, Chrissy, good to see you. Anna, you as well. Leah, sorry, I was really got into that story. Let's see. Do I have any tips on how to get rid of art block? Because I've been feeling burnt out lately. You know, art block art block definitely is a challenge to overcome sometimes. I won't sugarcoat it. You know, sometimes I have it sometimes also, and it's okay to give yourself a break. You know, at a certain point, you need to just, you know, take a breather, walk away from the project, walk away and just, you know, maybe get outside and do something else that relaxes you because for me art was always something that I turned to because it was relaxing. It was something that I could do. I could shut my brain off and just find peace. No matter what was going on, if I could find something that removed the constant string of thought that runs through my mind at a million miles per hour, then it's just so peaceful. And if I can't come up with something, if I can't draw something, if I just can't settle my brain enough to sit down and draw or create, then, you know, I like to clean when stuff like that happens, when I feel kind of just kind of like overamped and I can't sit still and I can't focus on a piece of work. Then, you know, sometimes I'll just, you know what, let's just rearrange the furniture. I can't rearrange the furniture now, which drives me crazy, but you know, sometimes I'll just start cleaning, you know, clean the bathroom and sweep the floor and mop the floor and, you know, clean the kitchen and just do that stuff. Because when I feel restless, when I feel like anxious, I guess you could say, though I don't really consider it anxiety, it's more just, you know, I just feel like I can't relax. Sometimes doing something like cleaning my house really helps because it does two things. One, it makes your space a little bit more comfortable to be in because, you know, when you're surrounded by clutter, mess, unorganization, it makes you feel unorganized. It makes your thoughts feel unorganized. And so cleaning the space helps you, you know, relax a little bit more. And then also what it does for me is like the mindless act of doing the stuff sometimes can just calm me down and relax me. So you get to, you know, you get a clean space, you feel less cluttered, you can relax a little bit easier, and so that's some of the things that I like to do. And if you're, you know, if you are in the mood to create something and you don't know what to do, literally do anything. And I've made a joke in the past about it. You know, just draw a banana. If you can't think of what to do and you're calling that artist block, draw a banana. Maybe draw your banana with a face. Draw an apple. Draw your favorite fruit or vegetable, or draw a cup of coffee. Literally any subject will spark further inspiration as you get into the project. So if you, if you can't find that you just can't focus enough to even sit down and do anything, then maybe just clean your room, you know, or get outside and go for a walk. Find peace wherever you can, and then you'll feel much better afterwards. Because that's what that's what I like about art the most, is it's my form of meditation, you know. And if I can't even find the level of comfort to meditate, then I seek the comfort through different actions. And, you know, sometimes those actions are cleaning my house or going for a walk. Sometimes it will be so bad that I just have to leave, find a bench anywhere, and just sit on the bench and let the sunlight hit my face. Sometimes that can be all that is required for me to just instantly be back in the mood and ready to create at full force. Hopefully I didn't miss any other questions. Oh, hey, Dad. Good, it's nice to see you in the live stream. I missed your question, Anna, about how I feel with this month being almost over. I'm super, super happy that this month is almost over. And don't misinterpret. You know, I thoroughly enjoy the daily live streams, but I'll be honest, I am ready for a break. Yesterday, I streamed much later in the evening. I streamed 21 my time, and I went the entire day. And I actually forgot completely that I was streaming. It was like 1800, 1900, somewhere around there. And I was like, oh, I still have to stream today. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh my gosh, it was so great to go a whole day without streaming. It was just like, oh, I just bummed around and, you know, made some food and relaxed and just did nothing. It was like, oh gosh. And then I realized, oh wait, I didn't stream today. I need to set up and mentally prepare myself. My wife, sometimes when she's home and I have to set up for a stream, she drives me a little bit crazy, because I always like to be early. I am early for everything. If I have a job interview, I am probably an hour early. If I have like a dentist appointment, I am a half hour early, and I'm sitting there for no reason, but I am early for everything. The feeling of being on time, it causes so much anxiety. It drives me so nuts. I despise the feeling of being rushed. So to avoid the feeling of being rushed, I am early for everything. And so when my wife is bothering me or whatnot and preventing me from setting up, because I usually get set up and prepared, or start getting prepared for the live stream an hour early, because I have to get in the right mindset. Like I have to be like, okay, I got my camera's working, my lights are good, everything's good, and I actually start the stream output like sometimes as much as 40 minutes early, and then just to make sure that my internet connection is good and everything is working, and then it takes me like 3 minutes to do this, right? I'm making it sound like it takes me an hour. No, it takes me like 3 minutes to do this. to move my monitor, to set my camera, to plug everything in, blah, blah, blah. But I still do it like super early because I just don't want to have to do it up, I don't want to start doing it at 55 after when I'm streaming on the hour because it just makes me nervous. Like, oh no, what if I kick the plug and everything shuts off and I have to turn my computer back on and just, yeah. Not that it would matter if I was already set up and I happen to unplug my computer, because I actually did do that one day. I was, I don't know what I walked over there and just unplugged everything. There was something else plugged in, I think, but I unplugged the wrong thing and it unplugged my whole situation here. And so everything just shut off and I was like, oh no, I had to plug it back in really quick. But yeah, that whole conversation stemmed from how I feel about the month almost being over. I'm excited to be over. Yeah, I'm excited to be done with this drawing too. I look forward to being done with this. I've had a lot of fun with it so far, but I'm kind of tired of looking at my goofy looking face here. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really want to look at my face any longer. It's too bad I couldn't have come up with a better project than a self-portrait for the month-long live stream. It would have been a little bit better. Should have done a portrait of my wife instead. I could look at her every day during a live stream. But my own face, not too appealing for my eyes. Trying not to miss any questions. So if I happen to miss your question, don't hesitate to ask it again. I get caught up in my stories that I miss too much. Oh, what did I want to mention? Oh, for anybody that hasn't heard or seen or anything like that, I'm auctioning 2 of my pastel paintings on my website. I have a link for it in the description. So if you're interested in putting a bid in on some of my artwork, I have that link in the description. And then I swear there was something else. Oh, I don't know if you can see my shirt, but I think you can. Yeah. I also have merchandise. I have some t-shirts and stickers and things like that. I have a link for that in the description too if you want to buy yourself a shirt and help support the channel. It's always appreciated. Oh, now I remember what I really wanted to bring up. Those 2 things I didn't really care to bring up. I'm a terrible salesman. I never try to sell my merch. But I had a student slot on Patreon open up. Now the last time I live streamed, which I think was earlier this month, so it was during one of these live streams. I think it was like maybe the 5th or 6th day or something. I mentioned during the live stream that I had a spot available on Patreon, and I said that, since I'm mentioning this on the live stream, and there's a number of you here, odds are that by the time this live stream ends, that spot will not be available. And it probably took about 3 minutes after I said that the spot was no longer available. So I'm really not kidding. It's going to be filled. It's going to be filled very quickly. So I just want to mention that there is currently a student spot available on my Patreon page. So if you've been waiting, which I know a lot of people have because I've received the emails, you jump on the spot as soon as you can, because it will not last long, and it's the final spot. It's first come, first serve. There's no like official wait list or anything like that. I can't control that stuff because anybody can sign up on the Patreon, and I can't like arbitrarily kick them off. So it's first come, first serve. So jump on it quickly because it will be gone probably before the live stream is over, since I just mentioned it. So just wanted to put that out there. I forgot about it yesterday. Since I don't normally advertise the spot, it usually just gets filled up. But if I don't say anything, then it could take like a week or something. But then as soon as I mention it, it's gone. I had 4 people email me. I had 4 people email me after the live stream previously when a spot opened up, and it was no longer available. So just trying to give you the best chance. Tips for time pressure. Manage your time. So try not to let everything mush together. So for instance, you say you have 3 projects. So you have 3 projects, right? You have 3 projects. You have X amount of time. I don't know how much time you have. You have 2 hours for each. Okay, well, spend 2 hours on one project and spend 2 hours on the next project, and just think of it as just one thing at a time. Don't clump it all together. You have one task. You have one task. You have 2 hours. So perform that one task. Don't let anything else bother you. When you have that finished, then just think, okay, well, I'm going to do another task for 2 hours, and then boom, there you go. So break it up. Don't let all the stuff overcome you, because I think unless you do it regularly, unless you kind of think about things and break them down regularly, like the way that I just explained with your 3 tasks, it's very, very easy to feel overwhelmed when there's nothing to be overwhelmed about. For instance, say you've never bought a car, right? You've never bought a car, and your perception of how difficult it is to buy a car is like, oh, well, I have to find a car. There's like a million cars. I have to look at all these million cars. Then I got to find a car, and then I got to find a good deal on the car. I have to make sure that the car works. What if the car doesn't work? I don't know how a car works, so maybe I need to hire a mechanic to come with me to go car shopping. And you start running all these things through your head, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to buy a car. Because you feel like there's like this million things that you got to take care of. When in reality, it's so much easier. It's so much easier. You don't have to start off looking for a car. Maybe you just need a car to take you from point A to point B. So you're not looking for, something showy. Establish your budget. Say your budget's $5,000. Well, you're probably looking for a used car. So, what's good in a used car? Look for something that's one owner, and then just, go from dealership to dealership, see if they have anything that's in your budget range, and then just, compare whatever they offer, and yeah, go from there. And then before you know it, you're sitting down to do paperwork. They know how to sell a car most of the time, and then there you go. give them the money, the check, whatever, and then you drive off the lot. So try not to stress yourself out with how much you have to do by clumping it all together. Instead, just, take it one tiny task at a time. It's like the saying, everyone that has ever climbed Mount Everest started with a single step towards the summit. So don't stress yourself out. There's enough things in the world to stress you out. You should not be one of them. So just relax. You got it. Oh, hey there, Sally. Good to see you. I feel like this hairline is still a little bit... I feel like it's straighter here. Yeah, it still needs to come down further. I think that's better. That is better. My skin is pretty much done. It's pretty close. Pretty close to being done. So I think what I can do is sharpen my pencil. Give me a second to sharpen my pencil. All right. I'm going to do some touching up on my eyebrows. So let's see here. Got a few little hairs that I need to add in. My eyebrows look too thin because they don't have any texture yet. So I'll put in a few little eyebrow hairs. And the truth is, like, they're so small that direction really is almost completely pointless. So I'm just going to do some really, really light, thin lines. This should help them look a little bit more like hair instead of caterpillars. There we go. And I gotta do my eyelashes because I never did them. This should help my eyes look a little bit more eye-like. I don't want to go too dark because I'm not wearing eyeliner in this picture. Where was that a few days ago? I had a zillion things to do in 8 days. I'm down to 5 days, including today, but slowly learning that taking one task at a time helps a lot. Yeah, it does really, really help a lot. There was, I want to say it was February. I'm not sure why I want to say it was February. I know it was this year. I know that it was this year. And I even posted it on Facebook. I said something along the lines of like, I felt like I had a million things that I needed to complete before the month was over. I had like a week left or something. And it was just really stressing me out, and I just, I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling because time is just something that you'll never be able to get back, so you have to like try to make the most of it to the best of your ability. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to write down what I need to do. So I wrote down, there was 4 major tasks that I needed to complete, and then a couple of the tasks had like sub tasks that I had to do in order to complete it. So for instance, it was like there was like a video that I needed to complete for YouTube, and there was like some other stuff or whatever. And so of course with the video, I have to do the timeline edit, the audio, finding the music. I need to write the script and do the narration and stuff like that. So essentially I had a list of like 12 things. And I was like, okay, what is going to be the easiest task to get through? So I started with like the easiest task to just get myself moving, because once I start moving, the inertia just takes over and I can just burn through like whatever it is I need to get done. So I started with a simple task, and let's just say it was making the bed. I don't know what the tasks were, I forget, but let's just say it was making the bed. So I was like, okay, I can make the bed in like 30 seconds. So I made the bed, and I was like, okay, I feel better. What's the next task? Okay, well now I need to sweep and mop the floors. And I was like, okay, let's just do this. So I grabbed the broom, I sweep the floors. And then I mop the floors, and I'm like, all right, I already have 2 of my 10 tasks that I needed to complete. I'm on a roll. So what's the next thing? The next thing is to, I don't know, write a script. So I've completed 2 of like the easiest possible tasks you could ever imagine. And then I'm like, oh, well, let's just, sit down. I'm in the zone. I'm progressing with my list. And I just burned through the script. I'm like, yes, got it. Script is good. Okay, now I need to record it, set up my microphone, read the script, record it. And I was like, okay, got all this stuff done already. Now I just need to do a quick timeline edit for the video. So I go in, I do my editing, and I'm just, each time, just crossing things off the list. And the first task was just super easy. The second task, another real easy one. And then by the time I finished like the big task of completing a video or whatever, I upload it to YouTube or whatnot, and I'm like, wow, I just did my entire list that I needed to complete for the rest of the month, and it's only been like 6 hours. And I was sitting there. I was like, why was I stressing about this? I was like, that wasn't difficult. That was really easy to do. But when you keep the list in your mind, you're already going to be like making everything much harder. Don't keep the list of things you need to do in your mind. Get them out on paper so you can see them and physically cross them off. I actually just use my computer, and I have post-its on my screen, and so I delete them. I'm like, oh, I got that deleted. It's erased. It no longer exists, and my list just gets shorter and shorter. And then before I know it, I'm just relaxing, and I have everything done. And I was like, why was I stressing again? All right, let's see. I think I can do a little bit more on my eye here. do a little bit of gray. All right, I think I can start to go, I think, yeah, it's only been 50 minutes. I think I'm going to just start working on the skin a little bit. I need a particular color. I feel like this color. That looks a lot like 866. So let's just start here, I guess. Anyways, I hope that helps calm you down a little bit, No need to be stressed out over it. Just take one task at a time. It's the same way I approach my drawings and paintings. I don't try to do it all at once. Some people can do that, and good for them. That's not the way I like to do things. I like to piece it together like a puzzle almost. Puzzles I find relaxing. So, I try to keep it simple. It's for instance on this project, the background's real easy, So I'll just work on the background. I won't focus on anything else. And then, once I get the background done, I'll work on the eyes. The eyes alone aren't all that difficult, so I'll just do the eyes, and I just take it one step at a time. And that's all I need. Just one step at a time. And I think I mentioned before, if I were to do this project without live streaming every step of it, I'd probably do it over a 2-day span. And it wouldn't take me 50 hours to do, because I wouldn't be having a conversation with somebody, a bunch of people at the same time. Yeah, I'll backpedal a little bit and say, the way that I get through my tasks is not going to be the way that everyone is going to be able to get through their tasks. I suppose the more important factor that you'll have to always take into consideration is what works for you. You have to find what works for you in the end. I am simply describing what I find that works for me. And if it's not something that works for you, that's fine. You just have to know yourself. You just have to know yourself. And for me, I know myself really well, and that strategy, it works for me. It does the job. So, yeah. Everyone is different. So, if that's not something that will work for you, I'm sure there's something that will. You just gotta be willing to try out new things to find what it is that works. this here looks too yellow. Is that what you're saying? This side or this side? I mean, I would say there's more yellow over here, but I'm not done. I haven't finished coloring the face, so I'm not too concerned if anything looks too yellow just yet. And you have to take into account that, you know, your perspective through the camera is not going to be as perfect as I wish I could get it. But you have to keep in mind that for this picture, I was using natural light, which is quite yellow. Oh, hello, Helen. Good to see you. I actually didn't have any intention of working on the skin today, but I figured with the bit of extra time after, you know, finishing off the hair, because I think I'm good with the hair. Let me just have a look at it. Yeah, I think I fixed the hairline because it was a little bit too high. It made my forehead look bigger than it is. And so I didn't want to, I wasn't ready to call it a day just yet, so I figured I'll just start touching up the skin since I still have quite a bit of work that I need to do on the skin in general. So I figured why not. Maybe try to get my nose to look more like my nose. I think that looks better already. Just a touch more in the shadow area. And it's a bit grayer. Let's see. I don't really have my pencils out. Yeah, it is gray, but yeah, kind of a purple gray. I suppose I can try this to see if this might be too light though. Oh no, that's close enough. Yeah, that's pretty close to the shade of gray that I need. Same thing on the cheek over here. I need a little bit more gray here. My hands, I can assure you that my hands and neck are the same colors of my face because I use the same exact colors on my face that I did with the hands and the neck. So I'm gonna say that it's probably your monitor, or maybe it's just my camera. It could just be the light, yeah, because there's I'm looking at my camera screen on my screen, and I hardly see any yellow whatsoever. I mostly see gray orange. In fact, I would say that if anything, I need more yellow in my skin. So, because it's more of a peach orange color, but some of the highlights have like a tint of yellow. But it literally can't be yellow because I don't have a single yellow color. So, I don't know what to tell you. I have all the colors that I've used on this project the entire time. The only colors that I have used on the skin are orange and red. I have not a single yellow color. I'd say my closest to yellow color is this luminance color, 862, I think, 872. And it is about as khaki sand color as it could possibly be. No yellows. No yellows have touched my paper. All right, what else can I do here? Let's keep with this color, I think. Smooth out a little bit more of the texture on the nose. Noses always stress me out. Noses, they're just so unpleasant. I need more practice doing noses with colored pencils, I think. I think I just need to do a sketchbook of noses. Maybe the next month-long live stream is just going to be drawing noses every day. I'll just draw a different nose every day. Because they just drive me crazy with their very subtle color changes, and you don't want to exaggerate like the creases and in the bits of the nose. Like they just, I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure if you've colored a nose with colored pencils, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but they just, you don't want to draw like outlines. If you outline your nose, it immediately becomes cartoony looking. And so there's just this really, really delicate balance where there's lines that you see, but you have to ignore, and yeah, just a whole bunch of junk with noses. Just overwhelming complications with noses. That's better. And I even need some more red tones. I don't know if that's red enough. Let's just go real. That might. Is this what I want? This might be what I want. So let's bring in some nice healthy reds into the skin. Lots lots of life into the skin. And I'm just using like a super, super light touch. Until the paper starts to be toned this red color. And you know that you can always retone. You know, you can always like work a color over top of this if it starts to be too much. But I feel like there's a lot of red in my face in this reference photo, so I'm just going to keep adding it until I feel like I got exactly what I'm looking for. Let's see, there's a whole bunch of red going on here. Yeah, I still haven't highlighted my skin. Right now it's just mostly the lightest mid-tone colors, but I haven't used any I haven't used anything to highlight. For instance, like this part of my nose is almost pure white. This part of my cheek is really close to white because the light is kind of hitting it directly. So there's still a whole nother layer of like depth that I can capture in my skin. And I guess I'm just kind of holding off until I feel like I have the right base to bring in the highlights. Because I don't feel like they'll help me with the dark part of the face. So I'm just kind of holding off as long as possible. And for tomorrow, let's see, tomorrow, Tuesday, I have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So tomorrow will be 4 days left. 4 days left, that's it. That is it. 4 days. So I'm pretty much into the polishing stage. So I don't think I'm going to do too much more today on the face. I'm just going to add a bit more red into my skin. Tomorrow, I think I really need to work on my teeth and my lips. They're not quite there. So I'm going to work on that and then maybe get down to the neck and rework the skin there. And then I'll be kind of like in the polishing stage for the last couple days of this series. So we're almost to the polishing stage. You could almost say what I'm doing now is kind of the polishing stage. You know, I'm not making any real drastic changes to the picture at this point. So I guess I am kind of close to the polishing stage, but I'd say I'm there, but unofficially. I'm not officially to the polishing stage. Maybe on the face a little bit, kind of semi-polishing stage. Oh yeah, that red really brings life into my skin. It was a bit dull, and I'm still going to bump it up like to 100 during the polishing stage. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. You know, I think I think I got my hairline fixed now that I worked on the hair again, so it looks a lot better. I feel like it looks more like me now. Whereas before fixing the hairline, my forehead just looked a little bit too tall. But now I think it looks a little bit more. I have to fix the smile though. That's the next bit that I have to fix. Fixing the smile, I think that tooth is a little bit too big, and yeah, I got to fix the teeth and the lips. So that's going to be the focus tomorrow. It's going to be a task for sure. So yeah, that is going to be it for today. I appreciate everyone coming by and hanging out. Remember, I have one more student spot available on Patreon. I didn't check my email, so it's probably already full. But if it's not, jump on it quickly because it's not going to last very much longer. And then also artwork over on my website for sale for the first time ever. And I don't know how often I will do that. So yeah, jump on that as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. Stay unstressed. You know, like I said, there's a lot of things out there that will stress you out. Don't let yourself be one of them. And with that, I will see you next time. Take care. Peace.